G'day everyone, it's Engelo Rumora here. I'm your favorite Australian and the real estate dingo, bringing you another awesome vlog. And today I'm talking about this, the number one market that no one is investing in, and they really should. Let's get it started. Okay guys, shameless plug warning. I'm gonna be a little bit biased because I am based in this market. I've done a lot of deals in this market, and I feel like a kid in a candy store in this market, okay? Now, funny thing is, when I first started my journey and I told people that I am going to start this great company in Toledo, Ohio, they all laughed me out of the room. They were like, what's this crazy Australian guy going to Toledo to do what? Real estate? Anyway, fast forward 6 years, and I'm proud to say that I'm kind of the last one laughing. And why I say that, guys, is because what I've found, and what's still the case to this day, is for whatever reason, there's a lot of individuals that prefer to stay away from tertiary markets, or at least they prefer to stay away from tertiary markets. So for the last, 4, 5, 6 years, there really hasn't been that much activity in Toledo. The hedge funds have not come into town. They prefer to go into other markets where I guess they can pump up the projections from a statistical standpoint, population growth, employment growth, large employers being in town, and whatnot. Okay, on more of a macro market synopsis. That's a cool word, synopsis. I'm not even sure what it means, but it sounds good. Anyway, so Toledo as a market has avoided the hedge funds. Then let me give you another example. It doesn't really have that much sex appeal to the name, right? Toledo, Ohio, it's a pretty small hub. There's a population of around 510,000 people, including the outskirts. As soon as LeBron James went to Cleveland to play basketball, whoop-de-doo, everyone's in Cleveland. Every company's in Cleveland. All the turnkey outfits, property management companies, everyone's posting online they want to invest in Cleveland. So, I always like to joke around that every John and his dog went to Cleveland to start a real estate company. Once again, we avoided that competition too. No one's really been in Toledo, doing the things that we're doing along with some of the other companies out there. So from that aspect, it's always kind of stayed under the radar. What you're going to find with a lot of tertiary markets. Look, I personally don't know of any other market in the country where you can get a better bang for your buck, okay? So what you are buying here in Toledo from a B-class standpoint, okay? And there's a lot of talk online about 20, 30, 40K pig properties, and I can blow that out of the water. Anyone that comes to Toledo that goes through some of these neighborhoods, which I'm going to mention in a second, and they check out what they can buy, how much they need to pay for it, and what the rent potential is, you will absolutely be mesmerized. It is unheard of, and in my opinion, whatever you're buying here for the price points that you are, take that same amount of money, go into any other market nationwide, and you are buying a C or a D class, rough, high crime ghetto property. Here, you're buying a solid asset in a solid area where your tenants are blue collar working class people, hard pressed for money, they're not bad people that tend to stay and pay their rent, okay? So some of those key pockets of infrastructure here in Toledo, which I think offer some amazing opportunities. And a lot of these things are not explained online or in any of the stats and demographics because more of the local folks like me, and like some other investors here in town will understand the microeconomics that happen in a market like Toledo. So let me give you an example. Toledo Pro-Medical Hospital, the biggest and richest employer in town. They're gentrifying the area heavily. Anything around any pro-medica facility is always great buying. They're putting a lot of money into Toledo, and they're gentrifying downtown single-handedly. Downtown is booming. There's a lot of hotels opening up, restaurants, bars. It's an exciting time to be in Toledo, at least what the locals tell me. I haven't been here for as long as they have. Toledo University, 22,000 students and growing. It's great for young families and student rentals. Then we've got the Jeep factory, the GM powertrain, the Chrysler assembly, car manufacturers that stayed operational during the global financial crisis. A lot of them went bust in Detroit. They didn't go bust here. Then we've got the Washington Local School District, by far the most desirable school district in all of Toledo. There's a lot of demand for properties for sale and rent in that area. A sweet spot that we like is the 5 Points area. It's not in the Washington Local School District, but it gets that overflow of great tenants because it's right next to the Washington Local School District. A fun little fact for you guys is a lot of these areas that I just mentioned, back in the day, they used to be owner occupied. And unfortunately, a lot of these folks lost their homes to foreclosure, okay? So they had to move out. But because they love the area, the infrastructure supports a demand. They want to stay close to where they worked. They want to send their kids to a good school. They want to be close to ProMedica because once again, it's gentrifying everything surrounding it. So they decided to rent. So a lot of these people that used to own back in the day, they are now tenants. So there's a pride of ownership in the community. The areas tend to be very well kept. The homes are very well kept. It's hard to find a vacant home because the neighbors will upkeep the yards. So guys, look, I honestly think Toledo is a hidden gem like no other. I've been here for 6 years now. I don't plan on going anywhere. There has been more talk of investors starting to invest in the market. You know, I'm seeing that happen, but it's still a long way away from, you know, some of the other markets. Another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind, you know, if you are looking to invest in Toledo, I personally think it's strictly a cash flow play. I don't think you're going to get any appreciation. If you do, it's just a cherry on top. Historical trend shows around 2 to 3%, just keeps up with inflation. As much as things are booming here per se, the market still has absolutely nothing compared to some of the others like Florida, Atlanta, Texas. I mean, those markets truly are booming. I mean, it's pretty flat here when it comes to that. But once again, I really don't know of any other market where you can get a better bang for your buck. So hey, that's me. That's Toledo. That's Ohio. I'm biased. I know it. Hey, I would love to hear from you. Comment below. What is a tertiary market that you are investing in right now? I'd love to hear from you. Do you have similar numbers to what we do here? Do you have similar areas where it's a solid B-class property for a pretty decent amount, for a decent price? I would love to hear from you. Comment below. That's it from me for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Engelo Rumora. I'm your favorite Australian and the real estate dingo. You guys have a great day.